And it was to a point where I was making, you know, $40,000, $50,000, $60,000 a month. And it got to a point where it was like, this is too easy. Honestly, the hero in my whole journey is Jessica and the kids, because they could have made this real hard. I grew up with nothing. You know, some of you might have seen me talk about that in my videos. I grew up with nothing. I mean, you know, literally we were poor. I lived for a while as a child. We were homeless, literally in Queens, living on a park bench. And then COVID hit. Everything with COVID, and the market just went nuts. U.S. dollar took a big hit. Everything went crazy. We caught a swing trade from the top of that channel on GA all the way down. And so we ended up catching, I don't remember, it was like 4,000 pips. And actually my boss at the company, he got into IML. But I'm gonna talk about it. I'm gonna tell you really what's going on with IML, what happened with IML. I really got to a point where, you know, as a man of God, as a man of faith, you know what I'm saying, as a person who, I take my faith seriously, and I think, you know, the Bible tells us that our name is more valuable than riches, right? I did not feel comfortable because I was recruiting people, telling them to come in, we're gonna teach you how to trade. But I knew good and well, man, in the back of my mind, they weren't gonna learn how to trade from IML.
Have faith in your mind, have faith in your grind, invest in yourself, transform in your time. Have faith in your mind, have faith in your grind, invest in yourself, transform in your time. Trade and get paid, trade and get paid, trade and get paid, trade and get paid, trade and get paid.
All right, guys. Today, I'm interviewing Joe. Right now, Joe Genta from Trade and Get Paid. And I'm asking the questions that the people want to know. Here we go. I know what's on your minds because it's on my mind. Here we go. But before we get into it, like, comment, and subscribe right now. Let's get into it.
Let's go. What's good, bro?
What's good?
All right, let's get it, bro. What we talking about?
Let's get into it.
What we talking about today, bro?
We want to know. We want to know.
Who's we?
You know, the people out here want
The
to know.
people, the YouTube fam, the Trade and Get Paid fam.
Got you.
What do you want to know, man? Let's go.
We want to know, how did you get started in Forex?
Oh, so you start with the easy question. Actually, that's a hard question.
That's up to
So, so I know people ask me, they've been wanting like a testimony video and stuff. So I'll say this. I started trading Forex because I was trying to be, you know, I wanted to be a church planter. You know, I knew that God called us to plant churches. And I was working a job. I was working 60 plus hours a week at a property management job. Man, property management in the inner city, that's hard work, man. That's like just dealing with all the craziness of all the properties. We were managing like 300 plus properties. You know, it was like a full-time job, man, for real. I was working like 60 plus hours a week. Plus we were doing outreach 3 and 4 days a week for the church. We didn't even have a church yet. We were just establishing ourselves. And so, you know, plus, you know, at the time my kids were small. That's what people forget about is my kids. You know, my kids, honestly, the hero in my whole journey is Jessica and the kids, because they could have made this real hard, you know, but they assisted. You know, they really jumped on board, and they helped me make it happen. So that was a blessing. But so how did I start was, I was just trying to find something, and I was working my property management job, and actually my boss at the company, he got into IML, and man, hey, hold up, bro, and I ain't talking bad about IML, because I do appreciate the little start that I got there, but I'm gonna talk about it. I'm gonna tell you really what's going on with IML, what happened with IML. So IML, which later became IM Academy, you know, they had to rebrand. So I got into that company, and you know, I kind of got lucky. I turned $1,000 into $30K in a couple months. But the truth was, that was the worst thing that happened to me, because yes, I made the money, but I didn't even really know how I was doing it. You know, I was just pressing buttons. Mm-hmm. I mean, bro, they weren't really teaching you like that. They had a good academy, a little, the basics, support and resistance, that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I learned all the little basics from it. But, after a little while, I didn't really learn how to trade because of IML, because I learned the basics, but nobody there was really teaching you risk management. Nobody was teaching how to guard your money management. Nobody. It was just basic strategies. When this line crosses this line, jump in. When this dot does this, jump in. And it was all indicator based strategies, and they were trying to get you to be dependent upon their tools, right? So they had this harmonic scanner, and it was supposed to be scanning for reversal patterns. And that's what they were trying to make you dependent on those, so you needed their stuff so you wouldn't stop paying, right? And ultimately, they would basically try to get you to come in and recruit people. And I did, man. Honestly, I was just, at the time, I just really wanted to make money, So I got into it, and that's how I got introduced to Forex, and that's how I kind of started. And but I was working a job. I was doing that. I was still doing outreach. I was trading, learning at night, trading at London. I remember having a conversation with my wife where she was concerned, genuinely looked at me in concern. She said, "I don't know if you can sustain this," because I was sleeping 2 to 3 hours a night, and just grinding like crazy. And she was very worried, and so I started to really consider what my options were. I was going to quit Forex. I really was just going to walk away from it, and because I wasn't learning, but I was growing a team. I had, I was a Platinum 5,000 in IML, and so they was paying me $5,000 a month. But here's what happened. I got to a point where, and I'm not trying to bash IML, IM Academy. That's really that's not what I'm trying to do.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm just telling you what happened. I really got to a point where, as a man of God, as a man of faith, as a person who, I take my faith seriously, and I think, the Bible tells us that our name is more valuable than riches, right? Ruby, silver, and so I did not feel comfortable, because I was recruiting people, telling them to come in. We're gonna teach you how to trade.
Mm-hmm.
But I knew good and well, man, in the back of my mind, they weren't gonna learn how to trade from IML, unless I taught them. Because here's what happened. At first, all the products were hitting, everything was good, but after a while, all the real traders left. Not all, I can't say all. A lot of the real traders left. Mm-hmm. And the guys who were running everything were not really traders. They were marketers. They were recruiters, and they were good at that. But they were not traders. So on my team, from my downline down, I was the only one really trading. Me and one other person was trading, and everybody else wasn't nobody really trading. Everybody was just marketing. And so everybody in my team, me and my partner, at the time, we were training everybody. You know what I'm saying? And so basically we were doing all the work. And so we just decided we was done. We were out, so we left IML. I started doing my own Telegram group. And then we ended up, through a series of events. Here I am. I got TGP. We grew up. Built up a little bit now, and now we got TGP website and all that kind of stuff. But that's really how it happened, man. I got introduced to IML. So honestly, I can't really throw shade at IML like that, because I appreciate the start I got, and I appreciate the fact that I was exposed to this income and to this skill set and to what what got me started. But so I don't want to throw shade at them, but at the same time, it got to a point where I did not feel that the company was going to really help people trade the way they said they were. So I just said, if I'm the one training them, then I might as well do my own company.
Facts.
So that's kind of that's how I got into it. That's how I started, man. And man, it's been as they say, the rest is history, right? This has been how many years now, and man, this is what I do. I left my job in 2017, I think it was. I can't remember, 2017, I think. Maybe 18. And so I've been full-time for 5-6 years now. Training people, teaching people. And now I got other people on my team that are full time, you know, and that's what they do. So, man, it's been an awesome journey. It's been an awesome journey.
Off fire. So you left your job like just before COVID, just before the economy fell apart.
Yep.
And then trading carried you through all of that.
All of it, every bit of it. When, you know, actually, when I go back to 2020, now everybody knows 2020 was wild. 2020 was a different kind of year, man. And I remember why we were. I remember it like it was yesterday, man. We were in an uptrend on GA, and we were in a channel. We were in a big channel on GA that's been going for like 4 years, and so back from 2016. And I remember it like it was yesterday because I remember when we were looking for an opportunity to reject off of the top of this channel for a swing trade. I remember it, and then COVID hit. Everything with COVID and the market just went nuts. U.S. dollar took a big hit. Everything went crazy, and then what we did was we caught that move after COVID kind of regulated a little bit. I think mid 2020, we caught a swing trade from the top of that channel on GA all the way down. And so we ended up catching, I don't remember, it was like 4,000 pips, you know, in multiple, you know, not one trade, like multiple positions, you know, and like all my team members, we caught like you know, some of them caught like 2,500 pips, 3,000 pips. I caught about 4,000 pips on that trade, and it was in multiple positions, you know, over the course of about like maybe, I think it was like a month, you know, a month and a half. Caught 4,000 pips, unbelievable, and that was probably the biggest trade I ever took, you know, as far as like, you know, volume wise, and so yeah, man, we traded right through COVID. We traded right through the elections. We traded right through inflation going up. We traded right through Ukraine-Russia war. We traded right through the Israeli conflict. We traded right through all these rate hikes. And now here we are in about to be 20, you know, what are we doing? What is this, 2024? Now we're in 2024. And, you know, we killing it this year already.
Still trading.
Yeah, we're killing it this year. So, for 2023, my trade setups that I sent out to the team, we caught over 90%. It was right at just over 90% for the year win percentage. So through the rate hikes, through all that stuff, trade setups were hitting at 90%, a little bit over 90% for the year.
Wow.
So like, honestly, man, I'm not really the braggadocious type. That's not really my brand. You know, I'm not on here doing that. But I'm just telling you, ain't nobody else out there hitting at that level. You know?
You ain't got to brag. When you're killing it, you're killing it.
I mean,
and that's what it is.
Yeah.
So you touched on this a little bit when you were talking about, you know, family and things. But what was the hardest thing about getting to this level that you're at right now?
Yeah. So I would say the hardest thing that ever in the whole journey from Forex journey. It was those early days. You know, actually, let me kind of take a step back. I will say this: every level has its own challenges. You know, when you're a beginner, you have a set of challenges. You know, maybe you're still working a job. So how do I fit trading into my schedule when I'm working 8-10 hours a day, right? You know, how can I work 10 hours and then come home and trade and get sleep and all that? You know, it's hard, man. I ain't gonna lie to you and tell you there's some magic word that makes it happen. It's hard. You got to put in the work, you know? So that was a struggle. But then you got into the intermediate level. And I think one of the biggest struggles for intermediate traders is the mindset. And I know that sounds cliche, but let me explain why I say that. There's a shift that happens. When you're a beginner, you're comfortable taking small lot sizes. You know, you're happy to get smaller wins. You know, you're just trying to get to a place where you're consistent. You know, so every win is celebrated. You know, and it's like every win you get as a beginner, it makes you happy. You know, when you get to be really like where I'm at now, advanced. You know, I'm an advanced trader, master trader. When you get to where I'm at now, and you're trading with larger accounts, one of the things is, you know, you're just wins are wins at this point. You know, for me, it's muscle memory now. You know what I mean? It ain't really. I'm not really celebrating each win. You know, I'm not really celebrating each loss. So you know, it's just muscle memory at this point, right? Mm-hmm. But when you're an intermediate trader, there's this mindset shift that has to happen, and it's a real process, because it's like, you know that you're more skilled than a 10-cent lot size, you know, and you know you want to turn it up because you know it's like, all right, I can really get this. But at the same time, you may not have built up the capital yet to take these big standard lots and, you know, $50, $100 lot sizes, you know what I'm saying? And so you're kind of stuck in this middle ground where you have to make sure that you remain disciplined, but scale up your trading and scale up that lot size. And there's a shift in mindset that happens there. When you go from trading 10-cent pips and 50-cent pips, and now all of a sudden you're trading, you know, $10 pips and $15 pips, and suddenly your wins, bro, are going from, you know, man, I caught a $6 win today, or a $12 win. Now all of a sudden you're like, man, I caught a $240 win, a $300 win, you know. Now it's like it's a shift in mindset, because guess what? On your $6 win, you were really only looking at a $3 loss. So it almost feels like a demo account, you know, because it ain't really impacting you. You know if you lose $3, your family ain't hungry, you know. But when you go looking at a $300 win and you lost $150, some people, that's a full day's work. You lost a whole day's wages. You know what I mean? Like, that's a real job at this point.
Yeah.
So for intermediate traders, the mindset is the battle. And then for advanced traders, you know, when you get to my level, well, I wouldn't say at my level, but advanced traders, I think the biggest challenge at that point is just being humble and not trying to move too fast. Because at that point, you know you're a beast. You know what I'm saying? You know your win percentage is high. You know you're killing it. But, you know, their temptation there is, you know, man, if I could just take 2 or 3 of these trades at $1,000, you know what I'm saying? I could take 2 or 3 of these trades at a $200 lot size. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And you don't want to break your plan, you know, because that's going to set you back into that beginner intermediate stage. You just want to stick to your plan, you know. And not only that, but then it's the challenge of having money. You know, that's a whole nother probably video for another time, but there's a challenge of having money. You know, I faced a challenge in my life where I grew up with nothing. You know, some of you might have seen me talk about that in my videos. I grew up with nothing. I mean, you know, literally we were poor. I lived for a while as a child. We were homeless, literally, in Queens, living on a park bench. You know, my story is crazy. I came from nothing. And when I finally, you know, we all kind of, as fathers, right, as grown men, we always say, you know, our kids are never going to go through what I went through, you know. And I said the same thing. But then when I got some money, you know, and I remember sitting there with my first 6 figures going, bro, I just made 6 figures, you know. And I felt like, this is easy. I could make another 6 figures next month, you know. And it was to a point where I was making, you know, $40,000, $50,000, $60,000 a month, you know. And it got to a point where it was like, this is too easy. And so money felt like it didn't really hold any value, you know. And there were some things in my own spirit that I had to figure out, in my own mindset, that I had, like, challenges that I never faced before, of maybe overcompensating. Like I don't want my kids to ever deal with what I dealt with, so they're gonna have everything, you know. And then so it's like, then you gotta balance that and pull back a little bit and be like, you know what, I can't do that either. I want to, even though you making money, that don't mean blow it all, you know. So you still gotta have the money challenge, and you still gotta do the right things with your money. You know, you gotta have the right, you know, you want to set the right examples for your children, and at the advanced level, you start to realize that this whole game that you've been chasing since beginner was really never about money to begin with. You know, it was really never about money to begin with. It was really about the why. Why were you good? You know, money was a means to an end. Money was not the end. And it's hard to realize that as a beginner when you need money. It's hard to realize that as an intermediate when it's like, oh man, I have an opportunity to make a lot. But when you become advanced, it becomes where money's no longer really the battle. It's you have to win the money battle, because your mindset and your spirit, your heart's got to be in the right place. And so that was a challenge too, man. So I hope that answers your question.
Absolutely does. That's amazing stuff.
Yeah, honestly, man, that's a big battle, bro. You know, I didn't really plan on talking about that, but I'm just telling you, like, that's a battle for real. Like, you have to win that battle, and it's not a money battle. It's not really the money battle, really, as much as I know I said money battle, but it's really like, you know, you gotta take all pride out of the way. You gotta be humble. You gotta love the people around you. You know, when you have a little bit of money, you gotta watch who your circle is. You know, because people all of a sudden want to be in your circle when you got money. You know, and you know who your friends are, your real friends, because when you have money, it's not just when you have money that they're around. If you don't have money, if you're sick, if you know, before, when you were a beginner, before you had any money, were they your friends? You know, and not that you can't make new friends, you know, but you know, just be careful, man, because there's a lot of people, there's a lot of leeches out there, man, and I don't mean that in a negative way. I'm not trying to talk derogatory about somebody, but it's time leeches, there's money leeches, there's energy and just you know, just brain power leeches. You know, peace leeches. People just want to just suck you dry, bro. They're like vampires, and they just want to suck you dry of all your virtue, man. And even the Bible tells you not to let that happen. So, you know, when you get money, you just got to win that battle. You got to win that battle and remember why you was going after it in the first place.
Facts. All right, so you said it, so I'm gonna reiterate it. I wouldn't have said it, but you did. You're a master trader. You out here killing it in the markets, hitting 90+% on these setups. It's amazing. But when you're at the beginner level or even immediate, even if you become advanced, you know, you feel like you're trading 7 days a week. The market's not even open every day, but you feel like you're trading almost 24/7 to get to that level. So what's your work-life balance? How do you maintain the family life and still be a dedicated trader and keep that balance?
Man, that's a whole video, bro. That is a whole video. You got to keep the main thing the main thing. You know, it kind of comes back to that same battle that I was talking about a minute ago. You know, you got to win that battle. Money, if you can master it in the beginning, that money is a means. You know, money is a vehicle. It's not where you're going. It's maybe something that's going to help you get there. You got to have that predetermined, because here's what happens in life, man. And this is just a little mindset lesson, but here's what happens. Most of us, especially when those who are not taught, you know, maybe you didn't have a lot of teaching or raising, you know. I don't know. Everybody's situation is different, but we tend to make decisions based on our current circumstance. You know, we go through a certain thing, and because we're going through a thing, because we got a certain set of circumstances, we feel like we've got to respond to them. Some circumstances don't even deserve a response. You know, that's some wisdom for you, truthfully. Some circumstances don't even deserve a response. Just let them pass. They'll be gone tomorrow. You know, we can't let circumstance dictate how we live. So what we have to do is we have to have some predetermined rules in our life, you know, and these are guidelines. These are like guardrails on the road, right, to keep us on the road. We got to keep those things in our life, because if we wait until the heat of the moment to try to make a decision, we tend to make bad decisions. But if we like predetermine, like, this is the standards by which I live, you know, then that allows you to put yourself in a position where you can make educated decisions when those circumstances arise. You just go back to the rule book, you know. So I say that to say, you got to keep the main thing the main thing. You know, family is more important than money. Your children are more important than money. Your marriage is more important than money. Your health is more important than money. At the end of the day, when you're older and you're looking back on your life, you know, your kids are not going to remember the little toy you bought them. You know, they're not gonna. You may have a couple little special things like that, but they're not typically gonna remember the things. They're gonna remember the time you spent with them. They're gonna remember the moments that meant something. Remember that time when. Remember, you know, that. It's not. Remember that thing you bought. It's not gonna be that way. So just have those predetermined rules in your life that money is just a means to get me there. Money is not why I do this. I'll tell you why I'm trading. Our vacation, when we went to North Carolina a couple years ago, one of our favorite vacations we ever took as a family. I remember my daughter sitting there she was a little bit younger. I remember, like, at the time, my 13, 14-year-old daughter looking and seeing wild horses on a beach for the first time and walking up and just being able to stand there and take pictures next to horses wild. Like, I'll never forget that. You know what I mean? Like, that's something that she'll never forget. You know, watching, you know, going through escape rooms with my kids and just all of those things like that, those are the memories that are going to mean something. So at the end of the day, to answer your question, the work-life balance, there really isn't a balance, right? It's just everything's about the life. It's not about the work. Work is a means to get the life. So if work is outweighing the life, then it's the wrong work or the wrong life, you know? So at the end of the day, life has got to outweigh the work. And so if that's not the case, if it's even, or if work is taking too much and not enough life, then you didn't do enough preparation beforehand to put yourself in a good position. So you need to take a step back and look, what can I do that's different? That's why I got into trading in the first place. My why, right? Some of you have watched my videos long enough to know my family, my ministry, my city. That's it. I love my family to death. My wife, my children, and my everything. My ministry. You guys know I love God. I love the church. I love being a church planter. I love working for the kingdom. And then third, my city. You guys know I love the city of Detroit. This is my home. I love this place, and I want to be part of the resurgence. I don't want to just talk about, you know, oh, it's getting better here. I want to be part of it. I want to be invested in it. And so that's my why. That's why I do what I do. So keeping that at the main thing, you know, that's how you keep it balanced, bro. Because honestly, it's just there's some non-negotiables that have to be in your life that, you know, this is not going to be more important than my why. I don't care. And if it takes over my life, then it just doesn't need to be part of my life. So, you know, you just got to have those checks and balances in your life, and you got to be disciplined enough to know when something is taken away from the value of your life. And there's times you got to work a little harder to make sure things happen. I get it. But at the end of the day, it's one thing if you do, you know, this week I got to go put in some overtime. Okay, that's fine. You know, I get that. But when that becomes an all the time thing, it's just I'm gonna grind and you're working 80 hours a week and you ain't never spending so what are you doing? You know? You working for what? So you love work. Work is your child. You know what I mean? Like, so you know what I'm saying? So you gotta just get to a point, man, where life is the balance. Work feeds the life. Life don't feed the work.
100%. Now you have built an amazing platform, so many different tools on there, but you could have just, you know, traded and been good, you know, just trading on your own. You didn't have to do all this for all the people out here that we can learn from you as well. What about being an educator? What made you decide you wanted to be an educator and share all this knowledge with so many different people?
Yeah, so, well, I've always wanted to help people, you know, kingdom work, whether it be, you know, whatever, right? I always want to help people. I like that. I'll be honest, to be honest and transparent about it though, I did not start this in the beginning only and solely to help. Just being honest. I was in IML and I wanted to recruit people, and so we started a YouTube push because we were gonna try to get some people into IML. Now that didn't mean I did not want to help people, because of course I did. I wouldn't have been doing it if I didn't, right? I wanted to help people, but to be honest, I wanted to make money. I was tired of working 60 hours a week, man. I was tired of that, bro. And so yeah, I was trading and I was trying to learn and I was getting better, but man, they told me I could make money. You know what I'm saying? If I was recruiting people. So I did. I was like, yeah, I'm going to make some money. So I started doing some YouTube videos early on, and most of it was just me training my team, my IML team, and I'll share that video on YouTube. You can even go back. I never deleted any of that stuff. You can go back and see it. And go back to my earliest videos and stuff. It was like cheap quality, you know, whatever. And I was trying to get people into IML, but while I was doing that, I realized how much, I always knew I wanted to help people, but I realized in doing it, how much I really wanted to and how much I really loved it, you know? And when I got to a point where I was like, man, I'm getting messages from people that this is really helping you. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I was getting messages and inboxes and stuff on Facebook, Instagram, or whatever. Like, people are saying, thank you for that video. It helped me. You know? I remember seeing people. I remember the first time I watched one of my students, and at the time it really wasn't my student. It was more like my team member. You know what I mean? I wasn't an educator. I was just some guy trading. But I remember the first time when I saw somebody else make $1,000. And I was like, man, bro, that's awesome, man. You know, I remember the first time, I remember like it was yesterday, first time when somebody told me I quit my job. You know, I'm trading full time now. And I was like, bro, that's it. So, you know, I guess my point is like over the years, like in the beginning, I was, you know, I wanted to help, but I was really just trying to recruit. You know, I was trying to get people in. But as I started to do it, man, and hearing people, how their stories were and how I was helping people, it just inspired me, man. And I was like, you know what? Even after when I didn't even need to do this anymore, you know, I got enough money where I really didn't need to do this anymore. I just love it, you know, and even now I love it. I get, at this point in my life, I get messages, you know, on a daily to weekly basis where people is messaging me saying, man, you I thank God for you. You changed my life, you know, this kind of stuff. And, man, I love that. I love seeing people's lives impacted. People that are out here chasing their dreams and chasing their why. And if I get to be a small part of that journey, man, it makes me feel good. You know, I enjoy it. I like it. And, man, I love seeing people's lives change, man. I don't want to see the government take your money. I want to see you be in charge. You know?
Look, if you haven't liked this video yet, you need to go ahead and like it, favorite it, save it. This is amazing stuff you're getting right here. This is awesome. So, next question. The people want to know. They want to know. You get to walking around Detroit. You said you love your city.
Yeah, I do.
I see the work you do in the city, so I know how much you love the city. But you getting recognized now from YouTube. People are, is that Joe from Trade and Get Paid?
Yeah.
They want to run up and they want to get in. They want to glean from right there on the street.
Yeah.
You know, how do you feel when that happens? How did you feel when the first time it happened?
Yeah. You know, it happens more online than it does in person. You know, I'll be seeing people like I was commenting on a sports page. This person might be watching. I don't know, but I was commenting. I seen somebody posted about Michigan and them old that other team. You know, what do they call them? The Buckeyes. Something like that. And I was commenting on one of the posts, and this guy, I don't remember his name now, but he was like, yo, is that Joe from Trade and Get Paid? I was like, come on, bro. He's like, I watch your videos, man. I was like, oh, that's crazy, bro. So, but no, I get that kind of stuff a lot, and I have had people, you know, to be like, oh man, you're Joe. I watch your videos, you know, in person. But man, to be honest with you, I sit down like Tuesday. I'm going to have coffee with one of my subscribers. He happens to live here, you know. He lives over here in Livonia. We're going to sit down and have coffee, and we're going to Big B because that's where I like to go have coffee. And man, look, I ain't nobody, man. I'm just another person like everybody else, man. I'm not like some celebrity or nothing, you know. I mean, bro, I'm just a normal trader, man, trying to make it out here. But yeah, so we're going to have coffee next week. You know, I've met a lot of my subscribers, man, especially those who are like around Detroit. We've met a lot of them. You know, we've had a great time. I've called him. Some of you remember that video when I surprised everybody with a FaceTime, and I FaceTimed my subscribers, or like, you know, Facebook Messenger, you know, and you know, that was fun. I enjoyed it. Man, I love the people, man. So we had a big event here in Detroit, and people flew in. People came from around. You know, we had about, I don't know, 30 something people here that were subscribers and different members, and man, I loved it, bro. I had a great time just hanging out and teaching and talking and eating. We had a meal together. So, man, I love the subscribers, man. I love the TGP family. I love the YouTube fam, bro. And it's just, it's awesome, man. I love meeting them.
It's an awesome family. We love being a part.
Yeah, it's a blessing, man. It is.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
Next thing. So if you had to give that one piece of advice, that one thing,
The closing advice.
that one, like, this is what you need to know. This is what's going to get you through. This is what's going to make it when you want to quit, you keep going. This is what's going to make it when you take that loss, you shake it off and say,
Yeah.
I'm still doing this. What's that one piece of advice that you can give to the traders out there?
You know, you gotta remember your why, bro. You know what I'm saying? You gotta remember why you started to begin. You know, why did you start doing this in the beginning? If money is your motive, guess what's gonna happen? When you take a loss, you're gonna quit. If money is your motive, when somebody presents you an opportunity that looks like it can make you more of it, you're gonna quit and go do that. And that's how people. One day they're selling health products, the next thing they're mining crypto, next day they're trading, the next day they're, you know, selling real estate. The next, I mean, bro, these people hop around more than a bunny. You know, it's crazy. But so I'll say, you got to remember why you started. You know what I mean? Like, why did you do this in the first place? You know, and money can't be that motive. You know, because money runs out, and if money runs out, that means motive runs out. So if that's the case, then why are we living this life? You know, money can't be the motive. Family. That's a great motive, man. That's a great why. I mean, I know it always comes back down to the form. You know, it's family. Family is number one. You know, motivator. Number two is your occupation, your opportunity. Number three is your recreation, and number four is your mission. So that one of those things. You know, your why, your motive should come under one of those things: family, occupation, recreation, mission. And if you know, it's not money, it's mission. So if maybe you love to give to charity, you have a passion to feed the homeless. You know, that's a great why. Maybe you just love to travel. You know, there's plenty of places to see in this world. That's a great why. Maybe you just want to, man, I want to retire and spend time with my children, my grandchildren. That's awesome, man. That's a great why. Those are the things. Money can't be it. So my best piece of advice would be, keep the main thing. You know, keep going after the why. Keep that in mind, because every time when you take a loss, take a picture out and look at your kid and be like, nah, I ain't quitting. You know, you take a big loss, you're discouraged. You know, maybe it gets difficult. Man, look, take out a picture of that homeless person that you know, whatever that passion is that you have, right? And take out a picture that motivates you. Make a vision board, whatever it takes. But just keep that in front of your face all the time. And that'll keep you motivated, man. That'll keep you motivated. Even when there's no motivation to really be had, you'll be motivated because your why is driving you. And then number two, I think real on the kind of like lesser important, but still very important. More practical for trading. Don't focus on strategy. You know, everything is about strategy on YouTube and all these companies out here. It's all about strategy. Don't focus on strategy. Strategy is less important. It don't matter. You can take a 50-50 strategy and make money. Focus on risk management. Learn the risk management side of it first. Make that important. If I made a video right now and I titled it $1 Million Strategy, man, I'll get all kinds of views. But the truth is, you know, you wouldn't make that much money on it because you're gonna blow all your money because you don't know risk management. But if I make a video that says perfect risk management plan, I'm gonna get tiny views because don't nobody want to hear that. They want to know when do I get in, when do I get out. Don't do that. Who cares about the strategy? Learn that second. Learn risk management first. That's a good piece of advice. Make sure you master risk management, and then master your strategy.
You heard it here, folks. Listen, I need everybody right now to go ahead, like this video, share this video, subscribe to this channel. Go ahead. We in 2024. Listen, this can be a great year. This can be a phenomenal year for everybody trading right now. Let's get it, man. Let's get it.
Hit it.
Let's do it.
So that's it. Hey, what'd you guys think, man? You put me on the spot asking me these questions. I hope I answered the questions that you wanted to hear, man. And I love you guys. I love the YouTube fam. Let's start this 2024 off right. Let's kick it off right. Let's win this year. Let's kill it, okay? Let's just make this the best year yet. I appreciate the TGP fam as well. If you want to become my student, man, you want to sit in my classes every week, get all the content, get my trades, all this kind of stuff, go to tradinggetpaid.com. Links in the description. And that's it, guys. I'll see you in the next video.